Due to subscriber requests for additional stories, Dignity will return with an expanded UDHR series on November 1st. In the meantime, please enjoy some special programming lined up for you for the rest of October. Christelyn, thanks for agreeing to speak with me.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure getting to know you these past few days.
The pleasure has been mine. We have been getting into some trouble.
Hanging out. So, I really am glad that I found you on YouTube, and it was through a series of people. My question to you is, why did you get started with YouTube? How did that come about?
It was sheer laziness, guys. Well, I have a background in writing, so you know about the book, and but before that, I wrote for magazines, and I was a publicist before, so I'd always been a writer. But when I started the blog BeyondBlackWhite.com, I had to, when you're a content creator, you have to constantly produce, and I just didn't feel like writing. That was one day I didn't feel like writing, and so I decided I'm gonna do a video, and instead of writing what I was gonna say, I was gonna speak it because I can run my mouth, as I'm sure you ascertained. And then it became this other thing. I had no idea. It was like I tapped into something, a whole new world that I didn't even know existed.
That's great. That's great. I'm so glad you did. What attracted me to your channel is, after I discovered it, is that what you were saying reminded me so much of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. Primarily Martin Luther King, because he talked about his 4 little children being judged by the content of their character, and that's what you're talking about on your channel. That's what you're about.
Right. Character has nothing to do with melanin.
Right. It certainly doesn't. And what's interesting is that let me take a step back, because I mentioned Malcolm X too. And the reason why to me, you are an amalgam of both is because, or you personify both, is because when I read Malcolm X's biography, I was really impressed about the transformation of the human being, and how he went from an angry hood rat to a world-renowned, world-respected man who embraced everyone regardless of color.
Yes.
And he's the one that extended the olive branch to Martin Luther King to work together. So that's why you remind me of both of them. And when it comes to character, and both of them talked about this, even Malcolm X realized that you can't judge by color, you have to judge by character.
Absolutely.
And your book is about that too, Swirling. And you mentioned in the book finding common ground in terms of interests, values, activities, intellect. Those things have nothing to do with race.
Absolutely. I do talk about that. Before I met my husband, everybody talks about having a list. Have a list. And I did have a rough list, but I realized my initial list was all external, and it was very on the surface. But I always wanted a man that I admired, like my father. And I remember kind of trying to find men that kind of looked like him, but didn't act like him. Then I don't know what it was, but the light came on after my, umpteenth failed relationship. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna do an open call. I'm gonna do an open casting call of all men, not just black. And I did find a man who reminded me of my father, and he was not black, but his character, even down to his astrological sign, was from my father. And so when you're looking for that special person, focus on the action and not the external.
What's common in the black community, Blackistan, the refugee camp, however you want to identify it, is that people growing up, I grew up during the civil rights movement, so I remember clearly when Malcolm X was assassinated. I remember that day clearly. I always remember it. I remember the day Martin Luther King was assassinated. Kennedy, I know where I was. And just like you've met resistance, so did they.
Yeah. And hopefully not with it.
No, you're not going to have. I doubt you have the same. I doubt very much you have the same outcome. However, they had to deal with the moles. They had to deal with the angry Black community, and the fear of the change because they were comfortable with their lot in life.
Right. Even if it was miserable, they were comfortable with it. It was predictable.
And even going back to slavery, that's an issue that Harriet Tubman had to deal with. So these issues are not old issues, but the mindset is what's keeping those issues alive today.
Absolutely. And what I want to do and what I want to teach Black women is that there is something else. That it will take some courage to step out and be brave in a way that maybe you haven't done before. But I think that with my work, I try to be an example and sort of a guidepost so that they can at least envision themselves in that space.
If we want to grow, we have to go beyond our comfort zones. So this is an area, it's almost like the last frontier.
Yes.
Where understanding that allowing ourselves to live our lives with dignity has nothing to do with color at all.
Absolutely.
Which is why I so admire your work, because I see that you represent Article 16 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which goes to marriage and family. So I just want to thank you and let you know that I admire and respect what you do.
Thank you.
And I wish you continued success.
Thank you.
Sister. So I hope you found this insightful. Until next time, be well and remember to live your life with dignity. Bye-bye.
Bye.